brought deep dish pizza. Yum. We settled into my room and made my bed into our picnic area. We laid out a blanket so we wouldn't get crumbs on the bed itself, but we liked our makeshift eating spot.
So, what's going on? Are you having premarital trouble?
No, it's not about our marriage. Well, Carrie tilted her head at me, wondering what was the matter. I began to doubt myself. Should I tell her about the nightmare? Maybe it really was just a bad dream and I was overthinking it. I closed my eyes thinking about what to say. Eventually, I finally spoke up. I had a nightmare last night.
Nightmare? Was it really bad?
Well, I nodded, remembering how horrified I was in the nightmare and visibly shivering at the memory. Carrie frowned and poured me a glass of pop.
Maybe I should have brought alcohol.
Probably. That would have been a good idea. Oh, no. It wasn't that terrible, I swear. I rubbed the back of my neck. I had to relax. It was a nightmare, nothing real. I should have been able to talk about it. I sighed and looked up at Carrie. It was about James. He was holding me in a jail cell. Carrie stared wide at me. Unsure of what to say, I continued. He looked cold and evil. Diana was there too.
Diana? The succubus that tried to take the boys away?
Yeah, she was in the cell next to me, but for some reason, it seemed like she was trying to protect me.
Protect you? How?
My mind instantly replayed the nightmare, flashing to when Diana gripped James's shoulders and tried to pull him away from me. I couldn't help my body wince at the memory of her being shot by his gun. He came into my cell, he threw me, and Diana shouted at him to leave me alone. Then Carrie reached over and placed her hands on my shoulder, making me lower my head. It was strange to think about Diana protecting me. Yet I could feel the anger in her voice when James tried to approach me. She truly sounded like she wanted to protect me. He shot her with his demon gun, and when she died, he came after me.
Oh my god. I'm so sorry.
It may not have been real, but my body couldn't help but quake in fear when recalling the nightmare. I shook my head and looked at Carrie, needing to know what was going on. Do you think this is an omen? This nightmare can't just be a dream. Carrie ran her hands through her hair and stared at the blanket beneath us. She bit her lower lip as she contemplated, which made me worry.
You said a jail cell?
Yeah, I was in a stone dungeon.
Like in a medieval castle?
Yeah. Carrie shook her head again and ran her hands through her hair once more before looking up at me.
I don't know if this is connected with that dream, but I've heard rumors about the Abyssal Plains being in utter chaos.
What do you mean?
I don't know what's happening exactly, but for the past 2 years, the demon world has been emitting some really bad energy. Even the angels are taking note of what's happening. They're even neglecting their duties to go to the demon world themselves.
That threw me off. According to Carrie, angels were extremely devoted to watching over the human world. They would never skip duties to even think about the demon world. Carrie shook her head.
The only place I could imagine jail cells like that being used for prisoners is in the Abyssal Plains. But you and James are here in the human world, so it makes no sense.
Carrie abruptly moved from the bed and reached for her purse, digging through it and proudly sticking her entire arm into it. I swore she was Mary Poppins the day I saw her to do that the first time. Apparently, it was a demon-branded bag called the Endless Satchel, only found in the demon black market of the human world. It wasn't just a bag on the inside, it was a void. You could stuff anything in there and be able to pull it back out with ease as long as you pictured it in your mind. Carrie pulled out something wrapped in a dark green silk. As she unfolded the cloth, she revealed a deck of cards. On the back of each card was a black pentagram with small, almost unreadable markings around it. On the faces, however, were different hand-painted images that helped me recognize it as the tarot deck. They were worn, but they still emanated a power that made a shiver run down my spine.
It's been a while since I've used this, but it might be able to shed some light on the situation.
I watched as Carrie held the deck against her chest and closed her eyes, muttering to herself. She then lifted the deck to her lips and kissed over the top card before shuffling it. The cards practically danced and glided between her fingers as if they were alive when she shuffled them in her hands. Eventually she stopped and the deck settled together in her grip. She gently drew 3 cards from the top of the deck, setting them face down in front of her, and placed the remainder of the deck on the nightstand. She slipped one over, revealing a wheel with multiple symbols on it. As I stared at the card, the wheel seemed to spin on the face of the card, making me slightly dizzy. Carrie mumbled to herself as she examined the card.
The Wheel of Fortune. Could this be about the demon world changing? No, it can't just be that. Someone changed something in the past and disturbed the fate of the Abyssal Plains.
I looked to the card, taking note of what Carrie said aloud. There were many things I knew that I had personally changed. I wasn't destined to get the Anderson Toy Company. I met the boys and learned about magic, and I was going through a big change in my life with my upcoming marriage. Carrie moved her hands and flipped over another card, revealing a figure with a sword in one hand and a scale in the other. Staring at the card, I swore I heard angels whispering in the air around me.
Justice? What could this be about? Could the change in the past be something so big that it demands justice's attention?
My mind began to reply every choice I made in my life in fast forward. My decision to let the boys stay, to defend the boys against Miles, to stand up to Diana, everything rolled past my thoughts. Was one of those decisions one I shouldn't have made? I didn't get to think on it long as Carrie flipped over the third card. As it was revealed, both Carrie and I gasped.
The King of Swords? But that card is not supposed to look like that.
Like what? Oh! It looks like James. What happened? Okay, I'll read. A king's figure sat on a throne with a large sword in his hand, as if he were ready to attack the viewer. However, the card looked like a black and gold demon I recognized. James? The picture, despite being simple, was powerful enough to make a shudder run through my body at the sight. As we stared, however, the nightstand that held the remaining cards began to quake, forcing me and Carrie to look over in surprise.
What the?
The tarot cards on their own bursted upwards and began to fly through the air frantically. The sounds of battle and war emanated from them and ragged through the room. As Carrie quickly moved to shield my body with hers as she covered her ears. I covered mine as well, but that didn't stop the sounds of blood and clashing swords from digging into my senses. I could almost feel the heat and danger of the image of war that sounds were painting against my skin. As the sound stopped, I looked up to see the cards floating down onto us, now lifeless and all of them torn in half right down the middle. As they landed, however, I stared in shock at what I saw on each half card face. Carrie looked up and gasped as well.
Impossible.
What? On half the cards, I saw a girl that had my hairstyle, with the streams of tears running down her face, reaching out towards the torn edge. On the other, I saw a weeping boy with James's demon horns and a crown on his head. He was reaching back towards the tear that divided him from the other half of the card where the girl was. My heart practically stopped. Was this really happening? I couldn't believe my own eyes as I stared at the cards in front of me. My nightmares began to flash before my eyes, causing me to grip onto myself and shudder violently from the fear bubbling my core. Carrie quickly grabbed a hold of me and hugged me to her.
Hey, shh. It's okay. It's okay. Sometimes the cards are wrong. This can't be right.
Well, I certainly hope this isn't right, because this is creepy. How could I believe her? I was staring at multiple torn cards showing me the exact same image. I gripped to Carrie, feeling a stream of fear and sadness run through my body.
Hey, look at me.
This is why you should never mess with tarot cards. I looked up at Carrie. She gave me a small smile as she squeezed me gently in her hug.
Magic is fickle, okay? The cards aren't always correct. Fate can always be changed. Remember that.
I knew she was trying to make me feel better. I knew that there was something going on. However, as the thought of my marriage came up, I knew that I had to calm down eventually. They were cards, and my marriage was still happening, regardless of what they said. I closed my eyes and slowly started to ignore the signs, the cards, and the nightmares in my head. That wouldn't help me, and I had to prepare for my wedding. Carrie muttered an incantation under her breath, and when I opened my eyes, the cards had all disappeared. I hugged Carrie tight, silently thanking her for removing them. I had to be strong. I had to. As the day went on, I enlisted Carrie to help me with the wedding arrangements. Surprisingly, we got a majority of the work needed done, so that gave us time to relax and watch a movie together before James returned from work. Wanting to leave us alone, Carrie left as soon as he came.
Hey, did everything go all right? I'm assuming Carrie helped.
Yes, she did. For some reason, I felt the need to hug him. I just needed to. Without warning, I walked over and wrapped my arms around James, laying my head against his chest.
Huh? Love?
As James wrapped his arms around me and kissed the top of my head, I smiled. He would be with me and I would be okay.
I love you.
I love you too. My heart felt at ease. Everything would be fine. Everything would be okay. James looked down at me, pulling away slightly to see my face with a smile.
So, what would you like for dinner? We can go out to eat, or we can stay at home and I can make something.
I held James's hand in mine, knowing that I wanted to just stay home with him. We had more than enough for the wedding, yes, but our time together was better spent alone together than at a restaurant. How about we order food instead? You just came back from work. Might as well relax. James chuckled softly before kissing my cheek, making me giggle softly.
As my wonderful bride wishes.
We ordered takeout and sat together in our room, once again making the bed a picnic area. We played a movie in the background, but our focus was on each other. He made himself comfy without a shirt, and I made myself comfy with my head against his shoulder.
So, is everything all right? I made sure the reception hall was taken care of on my way back, so that should be in order.
Oh, whoa, good. Thank you. Yeah, everything's in order. We'll have a perfect wedding.
Was there anything you wanted to add to the wedding? It's not too late to include anything you like if you really want it.
No, I don't think so. I think everything that we have is good. James nodded before continuing to eat. I, however, stopped and stared at James. I was really going to get married to him. It was strange to imagine that I was really about to swear my life to someone for all times. It was like a dream come true. Why would I ever let something stupid like a nightmare shake me from it? Screw the nightmare. I was going to live a dream. I gently moved my food to the nightstand and placed a hand under James's plate, making him stop to look up at me. I softly pulled it away from him, placing his food next to mine before crawling over James and sitting over his lap. Promise me something.
Huh? Anything.
Promise to stay with me forever. It seemed like a simple and obvious promise, but I wanted to hear him profess it. James continued to look up at me, silently understanding my need to hear it, and wrapped his arms around my body.
I promise to stay with you forever.
You know what you should make him promise? Promise me you will not ever put me in a dungeon, turn around and shoot Diana dead, and ever try to scare me. That'd be marvellous. If you could, not go, really creepy and scary, that'd be really great. Until the end of time?
Until the end of time.
I hope you remember this promise, because I swear it's going to come back and bite you in the butt if you don't keep it. You can't break your promise to me, ever.
I would never dream of it.
James moved a hand up and tenderly caressed my cheek, making me nuzzle into his hand and close my eyes.
You're the one I want to spend my entire life with. I will give everything and more to you for as long as I possibly can as your husband.
I felt tears slowly run down my cheeks, which ever soon were brushed away by James's thumb. I nuzzled further into James's hand and held his wrist, almost hugging his arm to my chest.
Is the nightmare you had last night bothering you?
I couldn't help but nod in reply, frowning and biting my lower lip. I didn't want it to bother me. It wasn't worth it. I knew that James would stay with me and would never hurt me. James gently wrapped his free arm across my back and pulled me against his chest, moving his head to nuzzle my other cheek comfortingly.
Do you want to tell me what happened, or will you be okay?
I moved to wrap my arms around James. I wasn't sure if I wanted to tell him at all. Yeah, we're gonna tell him. I gently pulled away from him to look into his eyes. I had to tell him. It was about him after all, not to mention if he's going to be your goddamn husband, he needs to know the truth.